Really? Okay. Thank you everyone for being patient while we got everything up and running. We are now going to officially call the October 14th, 2020 special meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. I'd like to welcome everyone joining us via Facebook Live. And if you're joining on the phone, please do mute yourself. There's some bad kickback. And then when it comes time for public comment, you're welcome to speak when called upon. So thank you. To start, will you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So to start, could I get a motion to approve both sets of minutes for September 23rd, 2020 and October 7th, 2020 Board of Selectmen meeting? So moved. Do I hear a second?
A second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I think there was just some minor corrections about there. Okay.
Yes, Stacy made a correction about the new applicant who had withdrawn last time.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. So any other discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Stacy. We haven't had any correspondence this week. So the next one is first, an appointment to the Plan of Conservation and Development Implementation Committee. I wanted to note that Marcy Riley withdrawn her application for the POCD, and so now we have 5 candidates and 5 spots. As we talked about before, this has been open for months. We haven't been able to meet, so it would be great to appoint the people who have submitted applications, since we have exactly 5 and 5 seats open. So I'd love to get a motion to appoint Erica Leving, John Strinsky, Donald Kuberdance, Susan Hibbard, and Lindsay Pike-Fairchild to the Plan of Conservation and Development Implementation Committee. So moved. Okay, a second?
A second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion?
I would like to add that they come very qualified with respect to this task. So while there are just 5 and it has been open for months, we have 5 very, very qualified people who I think will do a very good job.
Thank you.
So,
I agree. Yes. Thank you. And just for people who don't know, with the POCD, we do also have liaisons from other boards and commissions. So we have Board of Finance represented, we have Planning and Zoning represented, we have Board of Selectmen represented. So in addition to the 5, we also have excellent CBC has a representative, excellent liaisons to help us move things forward. So I have nothing else to do. No. So all those in favor? Aye. Aye. Motion carries. On to the next one, and I know we have a number of people on the line, so thank you for joining. So I'd like to open up the discussion of the Board of Police Commission appointment. So if you don't mind, I'll go first. I'll share my top candidate, and then I'd love if each of you could share your top candidate, and we can have some discussion if needed, and then we'll hopefully move to make an appointment today. Okay, so could I first actually get a motion to discuss our top candidates for the Board of Police Commission? So, do I hear a second?
A second.
Thank you. So first I wanted to start by saying we have a pool of excellent candidates with a diverse array of skill sets, and I really want to truly thank each and every one of them for their willingness to serve. In my past job, part of my work focused on advocating for diversity on boards, because when you bring together people with different backgrounds and life experiences, it often lends itself to better decision-making by the board, which then benefits the company. I believe this holds true for our own municipal board. In considering our Board of Police Commission, we have a range of skill sets with different professional and volunteer experiences. In considering the skill set for this new appointment, one fact kept coming back to me. And that is, we ask a lot of our police officers. Police officers respond to situations involving mental illness, emotional distress, trauma, and addiction. No other group of people is tasked to manage and interact with people suffering with mental issues more than the police. It was with this in mind that one candidate stood out to me for this specific role. Lisa Tepper Bates has 25 years of experience working in diplomacy and in nonprofit leadership. I believe this gives her a unique perspective on what it takes to work in partnership and to make positive change a reality. I believe we're truly fortunate that Lisa's willing to serve at this local capacity level. And one other thing that stood out to me was during her 13 years as a diplomat, I read that she earned awards for her work on issues such as the Bosnian Peace Process, war crimes justice, and efforts to enhance U.S. civilian capacity to rebuild war-torn countries. I bring this up because it also resonated with me during her interview when she reflected on her time she served abroad, noting that it gave her a deep respect for the important role of civilian oversight that this board has. Having also served as the executive director of MASH, now Always Home, and then the executive director of the Connecticut Coalition for Homelessness, she's not only familiar with the important issues, but also has a proven track record for effecting change. During her tenure, I read about how Lisa transformed efforts around Connecticut's homeless response system, resulting in reducing the annual homelessness across the state of Connecticut by 40% in just 6 years, at a time where other states were seeing increases. She has credited part of this to asking the right questions and to looking at problems from many different perspectives and to enhancing efforts to coordinate across the state. Because of all these reasons and more, that I believe Lisa's past experience will be a strong asset to our police and our community. But with that said, that's just my opinion. Deb, do you want to share your top candidate?
Okay, do that. And like Danielle, I want to thank all the applicants who took the time to come apply and interview for this position. We are so fortunate. We had 8 qualified people and unfortunately only 1 position. I'm hoping that those who are not selected today will continue to stay involved and consider volunteering their time and talents to Stonington. We can use all of you in your fresh perspective on our various commissions and boards. That said, the applicants presented a diverse set of skills and experience, and the current commission also has a diverse set of skills. I considered who might be able to provide some new proficiencies and experiences in areas associated with current and future needs of the town police department. I based my recommendation on what I believe is an important skill set that's missing from the current commission. Over the past year that I've been on the Board of Selectmen, we've received a number of reports and communications and participated in discussions about the need to expand our mental health services in town, and the many police calls and incidents involving some aspect of mental health concerns and related homelessness, violence, and addiction, all exacerbated by the current COVID pandemic. A recent article highlighted how persons with mental illness are 16 times more likely to be killed during a police encounter than those without mental illness. The need for these services associated with these areas is of immediate importance to the town and includes the mental health related components of the new police accountability bill. Ms. Tepper-Bates has years of pertinent professional experience with mental health, homelessness, and addiction. She's worked on local and state level and has a proven ability to forge local and regional partnerships and alliances. These are the partnerships that included training and support services. Because of this, Lisa Tepper-Bates was my top candidate in recommendation for the open position on the Board of Police Commissioners.
Thank you, Deb. Jenna, over to you.
Okay, well, I wrote something large font, so I didn't have to use my glasses to have them fog up, so just so that I could stay on track. But I do want to say that I'm very grateful for the number of applicants that we have before us for the upcoming vacancy on the town of Stonington Police Commission. I do want everyone to know that there have been times in the very recent past when a police commissioner has been asked to stay on the commission for 1 more or 2 more years because there were no candidates who volunteered for the 5-year commitment. So I thank all of you. The pool of applicants is diverse with respect to professional and volunteering experience, gender, race, geography, from where they originally came from, where they originally called home, all aspects of what create a fresh perspective and a different point of view. And I thank all of you who took the time to talk to me. As we see the unrest around the world and in our country, and with all of us being locked in lockdown mode in varying degrees due to the global pandemic, I can only imagine the level of stress our officers go through every day, the wondering they may have every time they answer a 911 call or even stop somebody from speeding. I think the issue of mental health, both for the officers and the community at large, is the biggest concern facing us right now, in my opinion. Of the applicants before us, the one that I feel can best address the current mental health issues and concerns with Lisa Tepper-Bates. This was a tough choice. As I mentioned in my beginning comments regarding the applicant drought that had existed in the past, this is a welcomed tough choice. Lisa has broad experience locally and regionally and has the skills to bring together the right group to solve a problem or advance an initiative. And I think Lisa's experience with the most disadvantaged among us will be a valuable addition to the Police Commission. So Lisa Tepper-Bates is my choice. So,
Well,
wow.
thank you. And maybe just to echo what you guys have said, and I started with, I mean, there were 8 amazing applicants, I mean, truly, in all different facets and skill set and experiences, and we really, will be reaching out to everyone personally, but also we really do hope that you, potentially find other ways to get involved with the town through boards and commissions, volunteer work, or again, next year, another seat will open, and we very much encourage you to reach out again. But just a true thank you to everyone, because really each part a unique, skill set and background, and we just had to look at, I think, what was current, and I think there's some, unanimous agreement that, mental health issues really are, at the forefront of a lot of what we're facing. So I guess with that, could I have a motion to appoint Lisa Tepper-Bates to the Board of Police Commissioners?
So moved.
Okay, a second?
Our second,
Any further discussion?
yeah, I have, as I was going through all of the applicants and, rewatching the interviews again and speaking to some of them, I have some ideas of where some people would, of where they would be perfect fit, and I will be happy to share that with you.
That's great,
You
yeah.
can pass that along to them then.
Yeah,
Okay, so.
yes, thank you.
Whether or not it's something they want to do, but from my experience of being on other boards and commissions prior to being on the Board of Selectmen and some of the skills that some of the applicants have, I was like, that would be perfect for this one or that one, but I'll share that with you.
And I will do the same, because it's funny, I had the exact same thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, and then you can be this
Yeah, yeah,
person.
we can all talk about
Yeah.
All right, so, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so motion carries.
Okay.
Thank you again. So sadly, under resignations, Christine Halleck has resigned as an alternate member of the Economic Development Commission. Wanted to say a true thank you to Christine. I had the pleasure of serving with her while I was on the EDC. She is a fantastic volunteer and member of our community, and just a thank you for your service. We'll be sending her an official letter also. But, and just for anyone listening, now there's also an opening on the Economic Development Commission, for anyone that knows of anyone who might be interested. Under old business and update on COVID, I would just like to remind people, I think a lot of people might not know, on our website, since our numbers started increasing, we've started again doing weekly updates on COVID. So under news items, I try and gather information that we get both from our state contacts as well as from website, and do an update every Friday on where things stand. Sometimes it moves over Saturday, but at the end of every week, we try and do a good update on that. And then also, we've also put out today, I believe it's live now, a video on Halloween and COVID with our lovely Borough Warden, Jeff Callahan, and our Director of Human Services, Leanne Theodore. So I encourage people to take a quick peek of that video, as well as just leave a write-up on the website about some Halloween ideas, opportunities for new creative fun, how to lower your risk, and other options. But we are not officially canceling Halloween by any means for those watching, just some suggestions, because it is considered a high-risk activity. So that is it for COVID. Under new business, under old business, still on old business, sorry. From our last meeting, we have the request for the building permit fee waiver for the Sylvester Foundation. This was tabled during our September 23rd meeting, as I think both of you wanted to be able to reach out to Alan Sylvester and learn more about the foundation and the work they're planning to do. Just as a reminder, the request is for a building permit fee waiver of $8,138 for upgrades to their location at 101 West Broad Street. As a reminder, the Sylvester Foundation is a nonprofit organization that supports community members with disabilities and provides inclusive programming in schools. They're renovating 101 West Broad Street to design a long-term solution for programming and support for adults in the community at the site to include life, employment, and social skills education, as well as a residential living component and an area for healthcare providers, telehealth, and administration. So could I get a motion to approve the building permit waiver fee of $8,138?
So moved.
So here's a second.
A second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this matter?
I just want to thank, Sylvester for taking the time to speak with me. I did get all my questions answered, and it does sound like a really exciting opportunity for the town.
Okay, thank you.
So I didn't have a chance to speak with Alan, I just speak with Leanne, and I know that there's been a lot of support for this, and the enthusiasm and support was enough for me, so, Alan, thank you.
Good, Alan, you're still on the line, thank you for your patience, while we did some more due diligence, so thank you. Okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion carries. Thank you, Alan, and we look forward to working with you. Also under new business, the town hall HVAC additional appropriation, this is an amount of $40,000 to upgrade the HVAC at town hall. As has been discovered, that the main floor where we are right now does not have proper airflow, actually any airflow, and this obviously is a COVID risk, among other things. So the item was actually approved by the Board of Finance at their previous meeting, so we can get moving on this. So we do now like to hear a motion to approve the additional appropriation from our side. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
A second.
Second, thank you. Any discussion?
No.
Thanks for getting us there, Bob. All those in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries.
We don't wanna lose you.
Yeah, definitely. New business, so we wanted just a quick discussion on the MOU between the Board of Education, Board of Finance, and the Board of Selectmen regarding employee health self-insurance fund budgeting and reserve policy. Having both served on the Board of Ed and Board of Finance, I think you're very familiar with the background of this. Just for those listening and just also as a refresher, essentially, after quite a long time of work, we've reached, I think, a good agreement between the three boards that are beneficial to both town and school employees. So essentially, the town of Stonington and the Board of Education agree that there's a benefit in maintaining viable self-funded health benefit programs for their respective employees. Historically, self-funded health benefit programs have resulted in lower operating expenses, more control over operating funds related to the benefits, better stability in budget and fiscal results, and greater flexibility in addressing plan costs over multiple cycles for years of the plan. Both the town and the Board of Education recognize that there's also a key objective to the self-funded health benefit program to meet the obligation of plan participants while also minimizing the cost to taxpayers. So to maintain the viable self-funded program, the town and the Board of Ed also recognize that there must be adequate and consistent budgeting of plan expenses and maintenance of appropriate plan level reserves. The document that we're asking us to approve today is designed to address those concerns and needs. It's the intention of the parties to this MOA that both parties maintain maximum flexibility regarding making changes to their underlying health care plan design. If one party wishes to make a change that will affect the other party, it will be discussed by the advisory committee. This new advisory committee will be the first selectman, the Town of Stonington Director of Administrative Services, the Stonington Public Schools Superintendent of Schools, and the Stonington Public Schools Director of Finance. The responsibilities of the committee are twofold: monitor compliance with the MOA and ensure adequate communication between all parties relative to health benefits. The committee shall officially meet biannually or more often as needed. Basically on a day-to-day level, mostly our Director of Administrative Services will be working with the Schools Director of Finance, and it's been working pretty well for the past couple months now, or almost a month since we've had our new director. Furthermore, if the advisory committee can't agree, we added in a final level of comprised of the Town of Stonington Board of Finance chairperson, the School Board of Ed chairperson, and then the Stonington Public Schools Assistant Superintendent to make any final decision and change if we can't reach an agreement, which hopefully we always can. And then the collective decision will be enacted and supported by all. So may I have a motion to approve the MOA between the Board of Finance, Board of Ed, and Board of Selectmen?
So moved.
So here's a second.
A second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
No, this is good. I'm very happy that this is now completed. This has been going on for 2 years or so?
It's been going on a while.
It's been going on for a while.
Yeah, I also am very happy with it.
Yeah.
It's finally a good point.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. So under new business, we need to set the schedule for our meetings with the town clerk yearly. We'll continue to meet on the second and fourth Wednesday of each month. At this point, we'll continue to use virtual meeting platform, but have booked the police department meeting room for future use, hopefully as COVID numbers decline. The meetings will be at 5:30 p.m. Could I have a motion to approve the Board of Selectmen schedule for 2021?
So moved.
A second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
No?
No? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you, Stacy, for all the work it took to book those. Hopefully we'll be back in the police station. The next item on the agenda is comments from the public. If you wish to comment, please press *3 so we can unmute your line. Please listen, as the prompt will tell you once your line has been unmuted by the WebEx system. And when you do speak, please provide your full name and address. Any comments from the public? Give it another minute. Yes, I think we have one. Okay, you should be live.
This is Alan Sylvester, 188 Wheeler Road, Stonington, Connecticut. First of all, I want to thank you guys for the consideration for our foundation. And I just wanted to say how heartwarming it was to hear you talk about the prioritization on the police commission. We personally had an experience recently. We have a special needs daughter, and we were able to go down to the police station and have an excellent proactive conversation with two of your fine police officers who helped answer questions my daughter had with regard to being pulled over and what she should do when being pulled over, if she ever does, by a police officer. But if you're not familiar with how frightening it is for people that have mental health issues and special needs and the way that they view potential situations, it is something that others would take for granted. So I just want to once again reiterate that I think the family members appreciate the prioritization, and I know our foundation is very excited to be working in education in the community as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan, so much for all you do for the community and also for sharing that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments from the public? We'll give it a few more seconds. And if not, as a reminder, you can reach out to us anytime via email or phone call or set up an appointment to meet virtually or in person. Okay, so the next item is comments from the selectmen. Deb, do you have this?
Okay, I just have a couple things. I actually didn't have a chance to pull together my notes on the liaison committee meetings, but I wanted to highlight just a couple of them. The first being the Mystic River Park, which, while we haven't been able to submit our application for the next phase of the Department of the grant, we were able to submit a pre-application, and we are working towards getting our grant submitted. And this is a grant that would be for remediation of the property to construct the park. We've been waiting a long time to get this park constructed and get public access out there. So this would be very exciting, and we should hopefully be submitting it within the next month.
And thank you for all your work, and we've been working hard with you, Cullen, on that, and with many other people to help get that going. Thank you. That'll be less thing.
We're getting there. We're not there yet, but I really also want to comment that we've had so many letters of support from the public, from different groups in town, from different public agencies. It's really wonderful. And Susan was commenting, and she's done this for a number of years, that she has never seen so many letters of support for a project. So that's really exciting.
That's great.
We are trying to also update people, move ahead on possibly trying to go for a grant application for Stillman Mill as well, to try to get some additional environmental assessment done there, and that would be a federal grant, not a state grant. We're working towards that, but we don't have an answer yet. And finally, I just wanted to highlight that I'm going to be bringing kind of a spreadsheet or some ideas together for beautification committee, so they can work with the Department of Public Works and kind of determine, for all the different monuments and town-owned properties, what is the schedule for doing work on them, who's responsible, Because we don't want to just say, oh, yeah, we've got volunteers doing this work and kind of assume that that's going to happen, because they're a small committee that does so much. So I thought that this might be a way to kind of communicate things better and get Department of Public Works and Beautification working together on this.
That'd be really helpful, thanks, so.
Yeah, I'd like it maybe a little more coordinated, because I know there was, I got a couple of phone calls regarding the monuments down at the intersection of Route 1 and Pequot Trail, the war monuments, that some of them have gotten a little weedy after a while, and some veterans felt bad about that, so, but I know it's just the communication thing, that'd be absolutely excellent. I know it was taken care of, so, but,
I think anyone listening who wants to volunteer, the beautification committee, even if you're not on it, they're always looking for volunteers to help, because, you know, our public works staff can only do so much in town, they do so much already, so I think for things that volunteers can step up and help with, where it's safe, that, you know, weeding and help with things, I think now that we're not using chemicals, it, you know, leads to more weeds, so if there are ways that people in town could help, lend some time early in the morning, do some weeding, do some other things, reach out, to the beautification committee or us, we're happy to put you to work.
or even like in the heat of the summer, just to go around with water, you know, just to bring some buckets of water to water some of the plants, so. So, minimal time commitment. So, I attended the last, police commission meeting, and, did start the conversation regarding the parking on, Washington Street, especially where there's a new one-way area, and how tight it is in the summertime and all the parking spots. I know the parking spots are a prime thing, but like, that's the time of year that I suggest maybe, you know, they take a look at, not having parking at the first 3 spots, so at least there's some way that people can walk around. So we talked about that a little bit, and then also about the congestion on Willow Street, and the traffic flow on the rest of Washington. So I know that they're going to be taking a look at that. The new police commission is going to be taking a look at that traffic flow, and I did ask that the neighborhood and everybody that lives there needs to have input, because they're the ones that are most impacted by any change in the traffic flow, or people just parking in people's driveways and whatnot. So, there was another parking, you know, there's always an issue with parking, but it's the cider mill. So there's a couple of, that's a very short season, and thankfully it's not in the middle of the summer, but I've seen cars that have come out to the old central office on that road, so. But anyway, so the parking issue and the traffic flow is, they're gonna start to talk about and relook at, so. And that was it, pretty much. Yeah, planning and zoning, I think, had their shortest meeting ever, it's all of 15 minutes. So, so that's it, so.
Yes, no, that's great, and then, I think before I start, I just have a very quick update, I'll save mine for the next meeting. But just to say thank you to Henry Ward for his years of service on the police commission, 5 years, serving, admirably, so thank you to Henry for your service, and we'll give you a little break, and then maybe try and pull you back into some other board of commission, so, we'll respect your time off. But thank you. My just 2 quick updates I wanted to share is tomorrow we have our SIP meeting, where we'll be asking residents for input for any capital improvement projects they want to see, funded, advocate for. It could be brand new things that maybe aren't on our radar, things that have been on our radar for quite some time, or, maybe additional appropriations to existing line items. So that's a good time to come out and have your voice be heard before we finalize the draft of the SIP budget. We'll then meet next week with a smaller SIP committee team. Then we'll kind of prioritize and put it all together. And then in January, it'll come to us, and that'll be where people then can, again, obviously have their voices be heard. And we'll kind of narrow it down before handing it to the Board of Finance. So tomorrow's SIP meeting, and then also tomorrow,
At what time is the SIP meeting?
5 p.m. And it's virtual. You can check on the calendar, but I believe it's 5 p.m.
Okay.
And then at, I believe it's 7 p.m., I'm joining the first selectman of North Stonington, along with Stephen Mansfield from Ledge Lake Health District, to just give an update on COVID. Mostly it's going to be reserved just for Q&A, for 2 communities, questions they might have on COVID, questions relating to, things for legislate or for us, the municipal level, or things that we could bring back if we don't have answers to you right away. So thank you to the first selectman of North Stonington, he organized it. We did one at the start of COVID, and haven't really done another one together with the two towns. So, that was nice that he saw Stonington. And for legislate, very busy spending the time to do that. So if people, do have time to tune in, come with questions, and we'll do our best to answer them. Keep it at that for now. Okay. Anything further?
Do we have additional testing scheduled?
Oh, yes, thank you, June. We do. So thank you to those who've been getting our ever bridges and coming out. We actually have one of the highest rates of people turning out in the whole state. We actually got some kudos on a call today with our region for the state. But we have Friday testing again at Human Services, as well as they have another date of next Friday. So the hours have been extended. I believe it starts at 8:30. And we'll go to 4. So, please do come out. I did go last Friday. It was uncomfortable and a bit nerve-wracking, but it wasn't too bad. And so, yeah, it just, it's a small thing, but it's something people can do if they feel up for it. And it's just as a reminder, it's for asymptomatic people. If you have symptoms, just call your doctor, get tested via the recommended route. This is for people with no symptoms. Thank you for the reminder. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Oh, the very last thing, we're just like charades over here, is we have 10 days left to raise money for our community garden project to get the matching funds. So we have raised, I think, about $1,500. Our goal is $5,000. We can still complete the project with less than $5,000, but it would be amazing to get some more money and have that be matched dollar for dollar. So 10 more days. Thank you, a huge thank you to anyone who donated, and also just even sharing it. Even if you can't donate, if you can share the link, it's on Facebook, it's on Instagram. We have a write-up on the town website, word of mouth, anything can help raise a little bit of additional money. And just for those who might not be as familiar with it, it is vegetable produce kind of garden, not necessarily a flower garden, and people can reserve boxes. They pay usually about $25 a year for the parcel. Human Services has had a really successful program for about 10 years now. It will continue in place, but they have a wait list. So we thought it was a great opportunity to expand, and kind of better utilize our lawn for other purposes. We have a great group of Eagle Scouts, being led by our Director of Economic Development with her other hat on as a volunteer. So it's, we're getting a lot of bang for our buck, with them putting it together, doing all the work. Public Works has been helping with different aspects, as has the transfer station. We got compost from there, so it's been a good team effort. So even if you can only donate $5, everything that becomes $10. So everything makes a difference, and hopefully it also helps with getting local sustainable food source for people. And this garden will have some ADA compliant walkways and beds that are raised, which the other garden doesn't have. So hopefully more people can have access.
So I have a question. So our goal is to raise $5,000, and then another $5,000 will be matched. We'll have 10.
Yes.
So if we raise $4,500,
Yes.
will they match $4,500?
Yes.
Okay.
As long as we can show we can still complete the project. With my estimation, we can pull some money from town funds that weren't used this year due to different reasons for COVID or kind of different reasons it's been given back to the town. So we do have some money. Ideally, we'd love to make this a community-sponsored, funded project in full, but if not, we can still make it happen. But we'd really like to get to, I'd say, at least like $2,500, $3,000. So we're almost halfway. You're about halfway there. So 10 days. Anybody can help share it. That's great. And thank you guys for sharing it. All right, I think that's really it now. Okay, thank you. So we'll stand adjourned. Thank you.
Okay.